When did you meet Cam?
Um, I met Cam. I want to say '89. When we was about 13, right before we both went to high school. Yeah, right there. Around that time, he had moved to 1199. I was living in 1199. That's on the east side of Harlem. So my aunt lived there, and if anybody knows my story as a child, I was moved around from home to home, and my mom's was she had me at a young age. So I had a loving family. I lived from aunt house to aunt house, and ended up with my grandmother back in Harlem. But it started at 1199, and then Cam moved over there to move with his grandmother. His grandmother was over there, and one of his cousins, God bless R.P. Bloodshed. One of the founders of this whole music thing, way before there wasn't even a diplomat. It was Cam and Bloodshed that was rhyming, along with R.P. Big L, Herb McGruff, and a bunch of others and things like that. So soon after I met them, they started doing the Children of the Corn thing. Shout out to Six Figure Digger, and at that time,
who was in Children of the Corn?
Six Figure Digger, Bloodshed, and Cameron. That was the group.
Okay.
Six Figure Digger was the producer and the DJ at that time. That's when you had to have a DJ at that time. DJ was part of your package. You know what I mean?
This is what year?
About 90, 91.
Okay. So this is 90, 91.
Yeah, 91, 92, something like that.
So is it now? You meet Cam, but there's no music talk, right? It's just I meet Cam.
Yeah, I met Cam at that time. When I met Cam, Cam was one of the nicest dudes playing basketball in Harlem for that age at 13 and 14, and then he moved to 1199. And in 1199, my cousin Dave was one of the nicest people on the east side. Like everybody knew he was dumb nice, and they was around the same age. So that it started on the basketball court with my cousin and him going back and forth. Like I would always get my cousin, and how that would go. And then regular run around the east side, basketball and smoking weed to listening to him and Bloodshed rhyme all the time, and they always was talented. Then they went to Manhattan Center, and that's where Mace was at. Then they started this thing called BBO. It was bending beat bitches over. That was the name of the crew when we was younger. That was like a West Side crew. It was Ken, Herb Grubb, Dre Degger. It was a bunch of kids from uptown and stuff like that Cam used to hang out with, and along with Mace and stuff like that. And I was down from the east side, so naturally I migrated to the west side. The west side was always the most exciting part of Harlem and shit like that, and that's where Cam and them was from. And it grew from there, and went from them doing raps and formulating their little crew to actually getting serious. And then
So you actually knew Cam before Cam knew Mace.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that, because Cam and Mace played basketball their whole life. And Mace
together.
lived up the block from Cam. Mace lived on 40th between 7th and 8th. Cam lived on 40th between Lenox and 7th. So they knew each other from uptown.
So Cam and Mace were never in a group together?
I mean, wait, did Mace live on 4th? No, Mace lived on 16th Street. Yeah, they was Mace and Cam in a group together? I can't recall Mace and Cam being in a group together. I know they always
knew each other. They was
rhyming
rhyming there.
They was like best friends. Pardon me, Mace lived downtown. I was thinking about
and so
somebody
at this point, you're not rhyming yet.
Zig had lived on 40th uptown, but I mean, Mace lived on 16th Street, matter of fact, about 8th Avenue. At this point, I wasn't rhyming. This is high school days. So at this point, Cam and
What high
Mace,
school you go to?
I went to Cardinal Hayes, and Cam, I went to me and Zeke went to high school together. I knew Zeke since the age of 8.
Cardinal Hayes?
I went to Cardinal Hayes, and then for all 3 years, me and Zeke got kicked out the same day.
Wait,
I seen a year.
In the Bronx?
From the Bronx, yeah. I went to Cardinal Hayes from the year.
You play sports up there?
That was my whole thing. The year I was gonna play sports, my grandma's, they West Indian, so they don't believe in like sports. They believe in you going academically right, getting your grades. So that gap that I didn't have to play sports, I ended up being in the streets. But I was dead nice at basketball because Cam and them was nice, so I had to keep up. I was with the nicest dudes playing ball, but I always was a little bit to the street side of things. I didn't play.
Grandmother is West Indian. Which was she from?
My grandma's from Aruba.
Okay. All right, which I never knew, and I've known you this long.
Yeah, my grandma's from Aruba, so they didn't really care about no athletics, nothing.
So back to Cardinal Hayes.
Back to Cardinal Hayes.
So okay, so you lived at some point you were in the Bronx then.
Yeah, well, I was born in the Bronx.
Okay, born in the
I
Bronx.
was born in 1801 Weeks Avenue. That's in the Bronx. That's right off the Grand Concourse.
Hectic.
That's where I was born. I'm telling you. Shout out to my Uncle Ricky. He just came home. I watched my Uncle Ricky and my mom sell crack from That was the bridge. That's where everybody went to buy their weight and stuff. There was some real big characters that came up out of there. So I was raised in the midst of a crack and everything that was around me, from my uncles to my aunts to my moms to, and my grandmother was just a spiritual person. I always went to church, so she had me morally sustained, like going to church, Sunday school, and all that. So in the midst of all that, I always had great morals and how to make great decisions in the midst of the midst of the jungle that I was living in. That's why I'm still here today.
So then now, you said 89, you Cam, you meet. And so when is it, how does the crew progress? How does it get tighter, the relationship between you and Cam? How does it grow?
It grew after Cam and them was good at basketball. Everybody went to college for playing basketball. When they left as seniors, everybody was dead nice at doing music. They were always nice at rapping and shit like that. Mace was nice, Cam was nice, Bloodshed was nice. God bless Bloodshed was still alive. This is about the year '94. And everybody got kicked out of school that year, like 3 months after they'd been in school. Mace got kicked out of school, Cam got kicked out of school.
College?
Out of college, yeah, at that point. And when they got kicked out of college, well, this is '95, actually, the year that my grandmother had passed, God bless. So when they got kicked out of college, they all moved back home. Cam didn't want his grandmother to know he got kicked out of school, so naturally he moved into my apartment. And my apartment,
I respect that move. It's a good move, not letting them know.
Of course. So my apartment became like home base for the diplomats. Like that's where this is Harlem. This is on in Taft Projects on 112 and Fifth Avenue, in the middle of a blood hood, and 93 gangsters. You heard? But this is Harlem. So when they got kicked out of school, Mace, my house was like the home base. Bloodshed was still here. He lived in 1199, but everybody always was at the crib. Cam lived there. It was like Mace lived there. So I believe in '96, Mace got the opportunity to go rap for Puffy down there. I think Jack the Rapper was in Atlanta. And I remember like it's yesterday. I remember Mace in my house shopping in my crib. Like I need the dope ass outfit to go down there. Gave him the outfit. Like this is when niggas was coming up. I was just always fortunate to be able to have little side hustles and always knew how to get a couple dollars. And getting fresh was always my thing. So Mace does what he does. He goes down to Jack the Rapper. He ended up getting the deal with Puff. They said he's standing on the table. Did some immaculate shit or whatever. Cool. He came back to Harlem, hype, pumping. Him and Cam is best friends at this time. That's when him and Cam used to go back and forth on the records and the crew and all that type of shit.
With Mace getting signed before Cam and them being best friends, did that affect their relationship at all?
Not at the beginning. In the beginning, it was still all love. When he came back, he told us the news and the project and all that. And he started to get his deal, and when he signed Puffy and Bad Boy, and then he started to become friends with Biggie and all that type of shit, and then the whole revolution started. And at that time, Cam started to make a name for himself. That's when he was rapping with Clue or with Jada Kiss and all of them, and doing pretty good with the freestyles when Clue used to come out with all the tapes and stuff like that. And then it was like, then we started up, this is like 95, 96s and stuff like that. We doing like independent shows in the middle of Harlem. The Lox is performing, Cam is performing. He's starting to get his name up. Then Mace get the deal. Lox had got the deal with Bad Boy around that same time. So then the Bad Boy family is sizzling. Mace, and when he comes back, long story short, he ends up introducing the Cam to Biggie. Called Biggie, had Cam and Biggie house with him, and Cam started rapping for Biggie, and Cam came back hype like Big said, "You gonna sign me? It's on now." And this is all '95 because this was a big year. Then Bloodshed had died that year. Cam's cousin. Now above everybody that was around us, Bloodshed was Cam's best friend, cousin, like Ace in the Hole. Like that was his Ace Boom Coon. So when Bloodshed had died, it kind of put a real wreck on his life. Like he really took it hard at that time because he had just got the deal and then Bloodshed had died. No, he didn't get the deal. Bloodshed had died. Then Biggie had died, and then he just felt like he was lost. Cause
remember there was a hold up with entertainment.
Not even with entertainment. We didn't meet on at that time.
Okay.
You dig? Blood had died in the car crash. Then Biggie had ended up dying in L.A. And then he was supposed to do the deal with Biggie and them. So now it was like we was back to ground zero because we didn't know what was going on with that, and the whole industry was mourning and all that. And I remember Cam Moms had the liquor store that he had took control of and stuff like that, and we used to be at the liquor store working or whatever. And I remember one day they were shooting our Love Big Papa video after Biggie had passed and Bloodshed had passed, and we shut the liquor store down, and we go there in Santa Morris Park over there. They were shooting a video on 123rd, and me and Cam was just walking around the corner because it's Harlem. We like, hey, niggas, Lox, you know, we young now, we pulling up. We go there, and as we walking up, I see I'm like, yo, I'm like, yo, that's the dude in the Source magazine. Like, that's Partman. That's the dude on DS. I'm like, yo, we gotta. I mean, I know it's a bad time, but yo,
that's right. Diaz was first.
Yeah, so I'm like, yo, Big said he gonna sign you. That's his partner. We gonna see. Sure enough, we went up to him. I'm like, yo, this is Cam. I don't know Adam. Big, before that, Big he was like, yeah, man, Big told us about you. He said on Monday we want you to come to the office so we can sign you to this label. It was that simple. Then on Monday, that next Cam got his lawyer, did a crazy ass deal. When Entertainment, when had got that $64 million from Sony, and Cam had signed for a shitload of money. I remember going to buy the big 600 Benz. We had went out to Queens and to the Joy.
Cam's best game, bro.
You know what I mean? That was 96. That was Mace got signed in 96 and Cam got signed in 97.
So now you and Cam during this Entertainment time, right? Like, what is you and Cam's relationship?
That's the friends. Because
I want to always get the business of what was going on.
That's the friends. After Bloodshed had passed away, me and Cam became uncontrollably close. Like, we were just brothers. You couldn't take us apart. He lived with me. We did everything together. You name it, we did it together, man.
And where's Freaky Zeke in this equation?
I knew Zeke since I was the age of 8. And I always been militant-minded. So when Cam got his deal, I said, we got to form an army around us because we can't be running around and letting niggas roll over us at all. And you know what I mean? This is a little bit before I really started banging blood and all that type of crazy shit. Like, I always was affiliated because my projects was that. This is Braids Jimmy. So Zeke came in the picture when Cam got the deal. I'm like, we're gonna start putting niggas around us that I know it's gonna be.
So Zeke was your relationship.
That was my relationship. I introduced him to Zeke. I said Zeke is one of the illest niggas I know. Cause at that time I've been in high school with Zeke. We fresh out of high school. Remember we 18, 19 in 96 and 97. You dig? So I'm dealing with the people that I went to school with, and I know Zeke was a warrior, a savage. It wasn't nothing that me and Zeke ain't doing school that we didn't come out with together. Like, and we broke bad, we got beat up, we beat people up, like this with me. So I'm like, we need Zeke. He had a big dude uptown named Fat Sean. They used to be like, we're gonna put Sean next to us. My man Black and Dawn from the Bronx. Like, it was this pieces I was putting around us to keep that protection. But at the whole time, before I got all the pieces together, I was everything. I was the hype man. I was the road manager. I was the manager. I was the security. I was the dude boy. I was everything. You name everything you can name. I was it for Cam. I would not let Cam put himself in no harm's way on my watch or on my clock. And that, as everybody could see, I don't think there's a time that you've seen in this industry that you can see Cam has reacted aggressively towards no one as far as putting their hands on somebody. I don't think you can find a clip of that. But you can find numerous clips of me activating for the diplomats, and that's a fact.
I remember you used to come to the tunnel, and Jim used to say, he used to keep me abreast of different things. First of all, Jim was always 50 deep, so we'd always have, Mark Murray would come up and say, Jim is 50 deep outside. I'd say, tell him 30. But the 50 would always get in. 30, I don't know why I used to pick that number. I used to say 30.
Facts. Mark would come back like, yo, you just give me 10 at a time. I'm like, all right, that's cool. We'll do 10 at a time.
And he would always say, Cam just signed. Or Cam, and it was always Cam, your talk. It was always Cam. It was always, Cam just signed, Cam's working on this, Cam's going to do this, Killer's coming tonight. That's how he used to say it to me. Killer's coming tonight.
See, my mom's always told me that I was a soldier with the ability to be a leader. You heard? And she meant that. So when you put in a position in life and you're able to kind of change your life, you got to play the rules. Cam was the person that got signed. He was the face card, and I understood that. And I made everybody around me understand that. Like, he's the prized possession. He cannot be touched at all. If he get touched, we go down. And that was the method, even with Jewels. They all know. I put my life on the line for this. I've been to trial for this. I've been on America's Most Wanted for this. I've been on gang files for this. I've been on everything you can name.